Hello and welcome to the BI WizKid YouTube channel. We've got a special video here for you today. We've got Mara Pereira live in our studio. She came and she gave us a talk around bookmarks and everything you need to know. Mara is an ex-Microsoft employee, product solutions architect who recently started her own company, Data Pears. Now she's here showing us the ins and outs of bookmarks, from the beginner techniques, what it is, how it works, and then into more advanced techniques and showing us some tips and tricks towards the end of the video. So I hope you like the video. Let's get straight into it right now with Mara Pereira live, bookmarks, everything you need to know. Hashtag Bo.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so uh, today I'm going to talk about bookmarks in Power BI, but I think that everyone that is here already know that. And I'm going to try to go from everything from kind of the more basic things like what is a bookmark, how to create a bookmark, and then try to also share some more advanced techniques, I would say, and tricks around how to use bookmarks effectively. And yeah, just share some tricks around that. But before we get into the session itself, you already did a little bit of an introduction of myself, so I probably will try to be very quick on this. So I'm Mara, for those of you that don't know me. I'm a Power BI geek, or I like to call myself a Power BI geek. And right now I have my own company, which is called Data Pears. I do Power BI consulting, online courses, trainings, and before that, I was working as a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft. But now I'm very, very focused on the front end bit and kind of design part of Power BI. And when I'm not developing reports, I'm in Bali, like today. And I'm still developing reports. So even when I'm developing reports, I'm traveling the world. So this is kind of my main hobby, I would say. I like having monkeys on my head and just swimming with giant turtles. And that's kind of what I came here to do, to swim with giant turtles again. Hopefully I will see them and climb some volcanoes. So yeah, this is kind of me. Not just when I'm not building reports, because again, I'm actually building reports and doing all this stuff still here. But today's agenda. So, like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the more basic stuff, like what are bookmarks, how to create a bookmark, and then also introduce like the selection pane. And depending on how long you're playing or you've been working with Power BI, all of this might seem like very basic or very like advanced. It depends. But I'm going to talk about all of it and also exploring the bookmark options, because I think it's one of the things that confuses people the most of the times, I would say. And then the fantastic combo, which is bookmarks, buttons, and the selection pane that I forgot there. And also how to update bookmarks the easy way, because I talk to a lot of people and they always complain about how not easy, not very easy it is to update the bookmarks. And if I have some time, hopefully, yes, in the end, share some bookmark tricks with you. Let's go to Power BI then. And what are bookmarks? So if you're like very early on your Power BI journey, you probably have no idea what a bookmark is. And a bookmark is, in very simplistic terms, is basically a screenshot of your report page. In this case, imagine this page here. What do I mean with screenshots? I mean, screenshots usually go here, do a snip or something. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that in Power BI. So Power BI is a reporting tool, right? So when you're taking a screenshot, you're taking a screenshot like slightly different, I would say. A screenshot, that bookmark can save things like if you have something highlighted or selected in a chart like this. It can save the order where you have like the sort order that you have, for example, in this table. So it can save like this view of this table with this sort order, so it can memorize that. It can also, and let me add here something because I want it here, so that we can see fulfillments. This would be okay. Yeah, not like this. I really struggle still with this new on object thing. It's just, I'm trying not to go back to the old one, but it's It's not very easy not to go back to the old one. But okay. Okay. So it saves the sort order. It can also save like the hierarchies, like if they're expanded or not, like this drill down that you have like in the tables. It can save your filters that you have selected. If you select something like this, that screenshot can save like this selection that you have. And it does also one very nice thing, that is you can hide or show visuals in your reports. And what I mean with this is that's now when I'm going to introduce the selection pane. So you have this thing here, which is the selection pane. And the selection pane will tell you like all the visuals, all the elements that you have in your report page, visual elements. So in this case, let's select this one. You can see this little eye here, and you can kind of make it disappear or hide it, but it's still here. You didn't delete it. It's just hidden now. So Power BI, that screenshot, also can memorize these kind of stuff. So it does a lot of stuff, basically. But how do you actually create a bookmark? So let's start creating the bookmarks, because I think it will become a lot easier for you to understand like what all the screenshot thing means. And hopefully, let me see. I really struggle with this new interface. Okay, bookmarks, it's here. So you have here, if you go to the view tab, you have all this what were before panes and now are just little icons here in one single pane, and you can switch between the icons apparently. So I'm going to enable all of them here. So you can switch here from the bookmark view to the selection view. And these are the two main ones that you need when you're creating the bookmarks. But let's focus on the bookmark like pane now. So let's take a screenshot of this report page and see what happens. So we take a screenshot. For you to take that screenshot, for you to build a bookmark, you just click on add. Simple as that. Then you have your bookmark. But nothing happened, right? So for us to see exactly what this is doing and what we need to do another bookmark. So if you remember what I said, this can memorize a lot of stuff. So in this case, or in any case, when you build a new bookmark, you will have here these three little dots where you have the options for that bookmark. And you'll have here data, display, current page, all visuals, and selected visuals. And by default, when you create a bookmark, Power BI will select all these three options and this all visuals option, always, all the time. This is kind of the standard bookmark, I would say, the default bookmark that Power BI will create for you, which you should not be using. And I'm going to explain why. So we are going to leave it like that for now. So we created a bookmark, but remember when I said it saves a lot of stuff. And right now, all these options here, they are saving all those things. And each one of these little options, especially the data and display one, they save different things. So the data one, and now it's when I'm going back to my blog so that I can remember everything and not forget anything. Okay, so the data one, it saves the cross filtering between the visuals. So basically it's when you click like in any of the visuals in Power BI, then it filters all the other visuals. It can save that. It saves the sort order of the visual or the table or whatever, the visual, yeah. If you have any drill downs or drill throughs applied, and it also saves the filter pane and the slicer selection. So it saves a lot of stuff. And the display option, which is this one, if you remember, it saves basically if your visuals are hidden or not. It's the main thing. When I showed you that selection pane, if I go back here, the selection pane here, again, if you hide something, where is it? It's not here. Okay, let me hide this one again. Okay, if you hide something, you can hide like visuals if you want. And that display option that you see here, let me go back. This one, basically that's what it saves. See, mostly, mainly, that's the kind of the main use. It can also save the highlights, and highlights, I rarely use this, but yeah, or spotlight, not highlights. Spotlight is when you do this kind of thing when kind of everything else gets, yeah, whitish, transparent, I don't know how to call it, and then it basically highlights this visual only. This display option also saves this, but again, I rarely use this. I use it mostly to hide and show visuals, to save the visuals that are showing here and that are hidden. But let's try to play a little bit now with the bookmark. So let's kind of summarize everything again. Let's start with the data and display options first. So the data options, it saves, again, cross-filtering between the visuals. So if you select one visual, filters all the other visuals, it can save that. The sort order, the drill downs, the filter pane selections, and the slicer selections. And hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. So let's play with it a little. Let's go back to our bookmark. And now we are going to do something different. So let's put this all like as the original, okay, and delete this one, or update. Let's update. Okay, no, let's delete so I don't confuse you. Okay, let's take a screenshot of the report again as it is now, because it was with this drill down option enabled. Okay, so this is our original report. Let's call it original view report. So we have the original view, and now let's try to understand what happens here in the data when you have this option selected. So again, we are just worrying about these two for now. So we are going to create another bookmark, oops, and ignore everything. This is kind of, I think, probably not the easiest way in the beginning, but then when you're getting used to it, creating bookmarks like this will become a lot easier than, yeah, creating it or doing everything you want to do and then creating the bookmark. But anyway, let's create the bookmark, which right now is exactly the same as the original one. But now uh, I want to test this again data option. So I'm going to disable this display option. And I'm going to leave only this data option enabled. And you can update. But again, nothing happens because, yeah, we did nothing like in terms of the filters, in terms of like the drill downs, and the cross filtering between visuals. So let's do it one by one. Let's try the cross filtering. Let's test this bookmark. So now I'm selecting here this chart, so it's filtering every like the entire page of the report, and I'm going to update the bookmark so it saves this screenshot. And if I switch now between the bookmarks, remember the original view, when you save that screenshot, this was not selected. So let's see what happens. So it goes back to the original states, but now in the bookmark too, it saved the selection that I have in this bar chart. So you see that this is kind of one of the things that the data option does. So let's test it a little bit further. So actually I have this, I have the selection here. So let's test this by unselecting this and doing the same thing. So in bookmark 2, I have this one selected. Now these filters have all okay. So let's update it again. Go back to the original view. Amazon is here. This is not selected. And if we go to bookmark 2, now we have all here, and this one is selected. So we prove the theory correct. It saves the cross filtering and the filter selections. But let's go to the filter pane and let me add here category. Okay, go back to the bookmarks. And now let's do something else with this bookmark. Let's say we only want blouses, because why not? Let's see if the bookmark remembers our selection. So let's go here again, update, and go back to the original one. So now let's test it. If we go here, it did save it. It did save it. Everything is blouse. Cool, right? So the last one, I think it's one of the last ones, it's seeing if it saves this like drill down option, because the original state, it doesn't have like the drill down enabled, but we want this one to have like to see the category blouse and to see everything that is below it. In this case, I don't remember what I put it here, but yeah, the drill down. So let's open the drill down or do the drill down and update this again. Now let's test the bookmark. Go here, go back here, and it saved everything. So this is the probably like the all the options, I think, that I'm not forgetting anything in terms of the data. Here, the data option that a bookmark can save. And you will see again, if if you're not very familiar with bookmarks, you're like, but why would I want this in the first place? It is useful, especially when you put buttons here in the middle of your report, but we will get there. So this is what the data option does. Now, if I switch this to display, let's see what happened. What happens, sorry, and disable the data option. And now I have everything. Remember, I have this selected, I have this drill down, I have here a filter, uh, and these filters are different. The sales channel is nothing is selected. So let's switch things up a little, disable the data and enable only the display and update the bookmark. Oops. And now let's see if Power BI still saves anything that we did, like in terms of filtering and in terms of the data. So original view, all good. But then we go to bookmark 2 and nothing happens. So this is kind of my way to test exactly what's happening, because I think the easiest way to understand it is exactly like playing like this with the bookmarks, like selecting one things and selecting others and see what happens. So you can see here that if you have this this display option, it doesn't save anything in terms of like filters, cross filtering, drill downs, nothing. So now we are going to test what the display does then. What does it do? I already told you, right? Spoiler alert. But now we need the selection pane. So again, the selection pane is where you have like the view of all your different elements, like the list of all your different elements that you have in your report. And I imagine that for some reason I wanted to highlight this one. Remember that? Not highlight. Why do I keep calling it highlight? Spotlight. And now the annoying thing here with this new interface is that you have to do so many clicks. Before you had like the two panes next to each other. Now you have to click here and there and here. It's annoying, but we will survive. So bookmark 2. Let's update the bookmark. We did the highlight now because we are testing the display option. So let's update and see what happens. So we go to the original view. Okay. And the original view kind of disables that spotlight because we have the display option here and we saved it like this. Like the screenshot is like exactly like this as the page is now. But if we go to bookmark 2, it did save the spotlight. So again, we proved our theory. And second theory, if you hide something, if you have this display option enabled, it will save that too. What do I mean by hide? I already showed you before. But imagine that I don't like these two KPIs and I want to hide them both because I don't like them. I don't know. So I'm going back to my bookmarks and the KPIs are still there. I didn't delete the KPIs. They are still here. They are not, they didn't disappear. They are just hidden. So if I go back to the bookmarks and I update the bookmark, go back to the original view, you can see the KPIs are back. But then when I go to bookmark 2, they are gone. So again, we proved our theory correct and everything looks exactly like it's working as it should. So now we have this current page option, which I'm even going to skip probably because this current, no, I'm not going to skip it. This current page option is especially useful if you're using buttons, I would say, because when you're doing the screenshot, this is more applied, I would say, when you associate a button or the action, or when you put the action of the button to go to that bookmark. So when you click on a button, it opens the bookmark, and it will make more sense when I show you this later. But this current page option means that when you click on that button, Power BI will navigate to whatever page the bookmark was created on, which makes total sense. And there are not many use cases, I would say, where not having this current page enabled makes sense. At least I don't have any that crosses my mind right now where I wouldn't put this current page probably. So again, I think the only thing that this is doing is basically it goes back to whenever you click on a button to enable that bookmark, to go to that bookmark, it will go to the page where the bookmark was created, which makes sense like 99% of the times, 99% of the use cases. But now you have these two options here, the last ones, all visuals and selected visuals. And in this one, in this section here, you can see that you can select, oops, it's gone. Uh, you can select like all of them or just, yeah, one of them. I mean, you can be crazy and do whatever combination you want. But in the all visuals or selected visuals, you can't do that. You either have one selected or the other. See, you can't have both at the same time. And if I hover over it, it says this applies changes to all visuals. And this applies changes only to the visuals that were selected when the bookmark was added or updated. And now, what does it mean exactly? Let's test this one too. So let's go to our bookmark 2. And okay, let's go to the selection pane because I think it's easier to understand what this is doing. Maybe, okay, let's do two things, maybe. First, let's enable, oh, it's all enabled already, the data and the display. We are going to do both at the same time. So remember the data saves the slicers. So in this case, the slicers, drill downs, and so on and so forth. Let me just go back to the bookmark. Okay, this bookmark is here. This one is not. Okay. So now let me just go back here and remember that we've hidden these cards. Let me just bring them back and update the bookmark. This one. Okay, so now the bookmarks are the same or should be the same. Yeah, they are the same. Imagine now scenario that will make no sense, but we're just doing yeah, examples here. I didn't want the, I don't know, this KPI, and I wanted this one to be like, yeah, the drill down to be enabled. And at the same time, I wanted this one to disappear. And now I'm going to give you an example, very weird one. But imagine that, yeah, that is a scenario. If I go here, I have these two selected. But imagine that I also have, oops, I also have here this, probably not. Probably this is not a good idea. Uh, okay, let me think this through. How am I going to explain this one? Okay, I'm going to hide this card. Probably that's it here. I'm going to hide this card again. And I'm going to hide this one too. So I'm going to hide both of them again. And I'm going to leave this one, this drill down enabled. But I hopefully, okay, this card is here. This one that I just hid, I'm going to select it, and you can select it here on the selection pane and clicking on control. And I'm also going to select this matrix here. So you can see here in the selection pane, I have these two visuals selected. If I go back to the bookmarks, and remember that this KPI was also hidden. So they are both hidden, but I'm not only selecting one of them. So if I go back to the bookmarks and I have here selected visuals, so I'm basically telling Power BI, ignore all the visuals and look at only this KPI here and this table here. Ignore everything else. So if I update now the bookmark and go back to the original view, everything goes back to the original view. But now if I go back to bookmark 2, even though I've hidden this visual here, it still shows. It didn't remember that I was hiding or that I hid this visual, this KPI. It only remembered that I hid this one. And it also remembered, of course, that I had this table here and the drill down. So it basically what this option does is like a screenshot. Again, it's a not kind of, it's exactly the same thing. Uh, but in this case, the screenshot or Power BI takes the screenshots only over the visuals that you have selected here in this, oops, in this selection pane. So you can see here probably in this visual that still shows how this is working, because we basically told Power BI, look only at this table and that KPI and take a screenshot of these two, ignore everything else. Of course, if you have like a filter or anything, yeah, maybe this will be a little bit more complicated, but I think with the hiding and showing, it is very easy to understand like what this is doing. It's basically again taking a screenshot of only the visuals that you have selected here in the selection pane. And now let me go back here to my presentation again. I only have, so making sure I didn't forget anything. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is what this option on the bookmarks is doing. You either take a screenshot of the entire page or you take a screenshot only of the selected visuals. And now I want to show you another trick, or the first trick, maybe. It's not really a trick, but anyway. If we go to the selection pane, let's ignore all the bookmarks now, or this one. Let's delete this one and bring back this visual here. And imagine that we wanted to, let's use this one here. We have this bar chart, but I'm going to copy paste this bar chart. And I'm picky and I'm going to change this to a bar chart that looks like this because some people prefer horizontal, some other vertical, you know. People are complicated sometimes. And now I have these two charts that are exactly the same. Again, not very weird example, but you will see why I'm using this example. Uh, and now I want to switch between these two charts because I don't want two charts that look exactly the same on the same page. I don't want that. Or that kind of have the same information but slightly different. Maybe a better example would be to do something like this. Yes, everyone loves a table, right? So you have a little table and that has the exact same information as this bar chart. But I don't want to show them at the same time because some people want to see the bar chart, some other people want to see the table. People are complicated, like I said, and yeah. How are we going to do this? So that's when bookmarks come very handy. Remember that I said that you can hide bookmarks and not bookmarks, sorry, visuals and hide and show visuals. So let me go here to the selection pane. So we have here our new matrix. And we have here our, let me put one next to the other. And this bar chart makes it easy. So we have our matrix and we have our bar charts. And again, I don't want them to show at the same time. I want to have something more user friendly. Maybe a little button that will help me switch between these two views. How am I going to do that? Bookmarks. So in this case, let's go to the bookmarks and we are going to create two bookmarks. We are not going to worry about the options just yet. So this one is for the bar chart and this one is for the table. So we want, remember that if we did this, it switched between the views, as you can see. It's even doing stuff now. I want something similar, but I want it to just affect these two charts and I want to be able to switch between them. So now that I have my bookmarks created, I have to think this through a little. So for me to show only the bar chart, I can go to the selection and I can hide the matrix. And then I'm showing just the bar chart. The matrix is still there. Again, I didn't delete it. It's still there. But I'm just showing the bar chart, which is perfect. But I want this, I want to update this bookmark and I want basically this bookmark to take a screenshot only of this area, this little square, this little corner of the report. And if you do it like this, again, when you're updating bookmarks, everything will be so much easier if you use always the selected visuals and not the entire page. Like, sorry, like taking a screenshot of the entire page. It will be so much more complicated to update them. So think about this like this. I want Power BI to memorize this corner, not the entire page. So I'm going to select the bar chart and the matrix. Basically, I'm saying Power BI, only look at the matrix, which is hidden, and the bar chart, which is showing. Ignore all the other visuals in the page. And I'm going back to the bookmark in the bar charts, and I'm going to update it. And by the way, I don't care about the data. I don't want it to save like the filter selections or anything. I just wanted to save the the display options, and also only for the selected visuals for those two. And let me go back here. Yeah, those two are selected. So everything looks okay now. So save me the display for that little corner of the report. And now I update the bookmark. Now if I go back to the original view, they show like overlapping and you have two of them. And when I go to this bookmark, it shows only the bar chart. And now we need to do the same but for the table. So how are you going to do this? It's the same thing, but we are going to hide the bar chart and show the matrix. And selecting both of them here. So Power BI knows I want to memorize the display of these two visuals. Go back to the bookmarks, update the bookmark, or probably you should take these options first. Data option off, memorize only those selected visuals, and now update. And now if we switch between them, you see you have this one only shows the bar chart, this one only shows the table, which is what we wanted, right? So now, I mean, this doesn't help the end user, right? Because you will not see, or we will not know or see probably how to switch between the bookmarks. So you need to do this in a more user-friendly way. How are we going to do this? So enter the buttons, bookmarks, and the selection pane combination. So you can go here. Hopefully, I didn't change any of this. Yeah, everything is still in the same place. You can add a button because buttons are what you are going to use to basically go or enable these bookmarks in a way. So I'm going to add one button here. And then, of course, all these buttons are ugly, but ignore that. And I'm going to call this, is it? Okay. This one, the bar chart. That's the title. They changed this, isn't it? Huh. Oh, now it even has a subtitle. Okay, this is new. Okay. Bar chart. This is going to be a little bit weird. Okay, doesn't really matter. Okay, this is different. Again, I'm still getting used to this new interface. Okay, let's go for this one. This one is going to be the table. So I have a little button. This one, if you click, should open the bar chart, right? This one, when you click, it should open the table. So now we have our bookmarks created. So it should be easy to just set up an action to these buttons or on these buttons. So we can set up an action here. And we want to say, I want this to go to a bookmark. And in this case, I want this to go to the bar chart bookmark. So it opens the bar chart in a way. When I'm here, I want this to go to a bookmark, and the bookmark is the table. So now let's test this. So if I click here, it shows me the bar charts in a very weird position. And if I click here, it shows me the table. So it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But there is a nicer way to do this. Another trick. So right now I had to add like two buttons to switch between bookmarks, which are two different elements that you have to put in your report. And yeah, there are probably nicer ways to do this. So if you go to your bookmark pane, there is one thing called grouping bookmarks, which I just found out a few months ago. So you can group this bookmark. So this is group one. Imagine this is like, yeah, let's leave it as group one. And you can add both these bookmarks here. So they are under the same group. And why am I doing this? Because when I add, okay, let me see. Now I'm confused. Okay, insert. Okay, a navigator. Here it is. A bookmark navigator. When you do this, it shows you everything, as you can see here. And hopefully, I'm always scared now that things don't work as they used to. with all these news. I'm like, is this still working as it's supposed to be? Hopefully, yes. So in this navigator, you can see we have all these bookmarks, these three bookmarks, and it's showing me all the three bookmarks. So when you click on them, uh, it does what it's supposed to be doing. But in this case, imagine that what I wanted to do is instead of having two buttons here, I just want these two here, like a navigator, and it's one single element instead of having two. So how will I do this? And now we can go to the bookmark options, not yeah, the bookmark navigator options. And if the bookmarks are grouped, there is no way you can, like, if they are not grouped, there is no way you can do this. But if the bookmarks are grouped, you can choose that group so that this navigator filters for only specific bookmarks. And this is amazing. And I can't believe it took me forever to figure this out. So if you do this, you only have the two options that you need. And you can do this, you can group bookmarks like as you want. So it doesn't really matter. So you can have as many groups as you want. So instead of having two buttons here, now you will have, hopefully this goes here, these two little buttons, like a navigation, a proper navigation. And you have a lot of like styling options that you can do for the buttons and everything, and you have a lot of formatting options for this little navigation. And again, it's one single element instead of like two, and sometimes if you do this, yeah, you can have like five different buttons, and if you add like five separate buttons and they're all switching between bookmarks, this will make it a lot easier, your life a lot easier. So now if I switch between them, hopefully everything will work. Yes. So and again, you can format these buttons as you want, really, so they look nicer than now, because now they are not. I mean, they are not ugly, but they could be better. So group bookmarks, so you can have this kind of slicer navigation between the bookmarks. Otherwise, again, you can't really filter because it doesn't really allow you to, as you can see here, which is a shame. It should allow you to select the bookmarks that you want in this selection. But for now, this trick will do the same thing, I would say. And one last thing, I think. I was talking about the grouping of visuals and also updating bookmarks. And now I want to talk about that and why I said it's important, or it's easier if you group your visuals too, not just the bookmarks. So imagine now that, let me go here. This is our little corner, right? Bar chart, which is, yeah. Okay. Now, imagine that I wanted to do something like this. I want to add here, I don't know, a KPI card, because why not? I'll just add some random stuff here. Okay. We'll add a KPI card saying, I don't know how many orders we have. Count. What is that? No, I never. I'm so confused by this still. How? I just enabled this. Like I keep enabling and disabling it. Okay. I will choose something else. Okay. We have this one, which is way too big. What is this? Okay. Let's make it smaller. Not sizing. Hold value. Okay. Let's make it slightly smaller. Okay. So we have this little KPI here because why not? And let's be lazy and copy paste this. It will be easier. Okay. Imagine that I wanted these two KPIs. Oh, let's add another one, a third. Let's go crazy. Because I like repeating numbers. Okay. So we changed this little corner slightly. And now when I switch between these two bookmarks and I select like either table or bar charts, when I select the table, I don't want any of these to show. I want only the table to show. And when I select bar charts, I want these three KPIs to show. But now, if I do this, you can see they are still showing here. So this is not exactly look ugly, but it's not what I wanted. I want these KPIs to not show when I have this bookmark table enabled, only when it's the bar chart. So how do I do this like in an easy way? Because again, right now it doesn't look that bad, but let me add a few more things here so you can see how bad it can get. Okay, let's do this as something like this and keep adding stuff here. Not here. Oh, there. Let's add a few more things here. Okay. Okay, imagine more something more like this. So they are overlapping, right? These KPIs are not supposed to be here. How am I going to do this in an easy way? Because right now, clearly, whatever I've done with the bookmarks was not the easy way. So let's go back to the selection here. So now I have these three KPIs. It should be here. Now here, these three little cards. And again, we have to think about this strategically in a way. So let's go back to this bar chart view. So these four visuals, they are part of the same view, right? Which is the bar chart view. So what am I going to do? First, I'm going to group this bar chart. It's only one visual, but you will see why I'm doing that. I have to group it with another one, actually. Okay, I forgot that. Okay, let me group it with one of the cards, the first one. So we have, where is it? The bar chart and the card. So I selected them both and I group them. So I have my bar chart group. So now what I can do is, because I have like this visuals grouped, I can do something like this. See, and I'm hiding and showing the visuals at the group level, not individually. And why am I doing this? Because now if I go back to the bookmarks and we go back here and there, it's still not doing what I want, but I want to update this bar chart bookmark because now I don't want this bookmark to only look at this bar chart specifically. I want it to look at this group here. Even though the group doesn't include these two last KPIs, you'll see what this is going to do. So now I want this, okay, select the group, not the individual visuals. Go back to the bookmarks, and I want to update the bar chart. So I want this bookmark to look at the group now, not individually. And I'm going to do the same for, I forgot something. I forgot to select the matrix because I want it hidden. Okay, the matrix is, no, not this one. Where is the matrix? Where is it? It's a table now. Let me put it there. Here. Okay, so again, let's go back to the bookmarks again. So I want the bookmark to remember that in this case for the bar chart, this group which has the bar chart and one of the cards, only one of the cards still, is showing, but I also wanted to remember that the table is hidden. I forgot that bit. So now if I go back to the bookmarks, now I can update this. Okay, and if I go back here, okay, I think now it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I'm going to do the same thing for the table. So in this case, in the table, I'll go back and I want now this to memorize that the table is visible. It's here, but I want also to memorize that this group is hidden. So I'm going to hide the entire group. See, one of the KPIs automatically disappeared, and I'm going to select this group and the table and update the bookmark again. Table bookmark. Okay, and now if I switch between the two, okay, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but you can see that these two last KPIs are kind of lost and alone there. So now again, imagine that I wanted to update the bookmark. How would I do this? Would I go here and just like go now one by one and hide it like this? No. So now, because I have this group here and I've done the bookmark, I created the bookmark referencing the group itself and not individual visuals, I can just drag stuff inside the group like this. One card, two cards, and they are simply gone. and it's that easy. So now if I just switch between the two, Power BI is smart enough to know that, okay, if these visuals are inside this group and this group is hidden in this bookmark, then all the visuals inside the group are hidden, even if you just added that visual, like in that group. And as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. And I can even add more stuff here and go all crazy and say, I want, I don't know. After all, I want to bar charts. And I want this, yeah, horizontal one, because why not? Again, it's a, oh, hmm, is it inside the group or outside the group? Where is the other bar chart? Wait, I don't remember if I created it inside the group. No, it's here. Okay, let me bring it here. Uh, no, outside. Okay, so it's not, again, it was not created inside the group. So when I go back to the table, the visual is still here. And again, I don't want it there, right? Because it looks ugly. So what do I have to do? Just drag it inside the group that is hidden. And now if I go back to the table, the visual is gone. And this is how easy it is to update bookmarks if you think about it like strategically and how you're grouping your visuals. And also in terms of these little tricks, like with the groups of the bookmarks too, but especially grouping the visuals, it will be so much easier like to update bookmarks if you group your visuals. And one nice thing is that you can do groups inside groups. Like imagine that you wanted a group inside the group. So these three cards, for example, you can do another group. So now you have a group inside the group. So you can go really crazy with the groupings of your visuals. And again, I think this is probably the best secret to be able to properly organize your visuals and bookmarks, and especially update the bookmarks. And of course, don't do the same as me, put proper names on the visuals if you have time for that, for all of the visuals. Probably not all of them. If you have a big report, you probably will not have time for that, but at least the main ones, name them properly. Otherwise it will be a little bit confusing, as you can see here. But I think this is everything that I wanted to talk about. Let me go back to my slides. See, yeah, I think so. Yes. This is everything that I wanted to talk about. And if you have any questions, please just shout. And thank you.